Okay, so when it comes down to my winter routine, I try to keep it really simple. Believe it or not, I'm not gonna bring out the bells or the whistles. There's no magic formula to keep you warm when you're living inside your car. Believe it or not, I actually sleep better in my car now that it's cooler, more so than I've ever slept in an apartment or a house or anything of that matter, which is kind of weird when you think about it. Anyway, welcome to Drifting into Freedom. Now, I know that when you think of Georgia, you think of this warm place that's sunny all the time, but believe it or not, it definitely gets cold here, especially late at night. So overall, the coldest it's been in Georgia since I've lived here, or at least slept here at night, has been about 26 degrees Fahrenheit. So believe it or not, it does get pretty chilly in the nighttime. Now, of course, when we compare Atlanta to a place like Philadelphia or New York, we're talking about that cold temperature. Oh, y'all know what I'm talking about. For the most part, the weather here seems to be not too bad. Although it can be confusing at times, literally, you can go to bed at 30 degrees Fahrenheit and waking up to 60-degree weather. I mean, the weather here is pretty interesting to say the least. So typically anything below 30 degrees Fahrenheit, I usually try to focus on my winter routine that I'm going to be showing you today. Now, I don't do anything fancy. I literally, like I said earlier, keep it really simplified. There's no magic formula to keeping you warm at night. In some cases, you just got to use common sense. But I'm going to walk you through some of the methods that I actually use in order to stay warm at night. Now, when it comes down to me using a heater or some type of heating blankets or electrical devices, I typically tend to stay away from that. I like to have a peace of mind, especially since my car is pretty small. I don't want to have to worry about carbon monoxide poisoning or anything of that sort. Now, if you do decide to actually use a heater or some type of electrical device, you might want to look into getting some type of carbon monoxide type of device. I actually ordered this off of Amazon. I didn't have time to set it up, but all this is a carbon monoxide detector. So this is definitely great, especially if you are using a heater, or even if you're cooking inside your car, this device can be really great. So you might, like I said, want to look into getting one of these. I think I paid about $24, $25 for this, but this thing is definitely something you want to invest in, especially if you are doing, like I said, any type of cooking, using any type of device. I always say safety first, so you definitely want to look into buying one of these. Now, obviously, before I even set foot in my car, I need to make sure that I use the restroom. I tend to drink a lot during the day. I want to make sure that I handle my business before I get in here, because once I have everything set up, I do not want to have to get back out of my car in the middle of the night. So yeah, so I try to do everything before I get in here. And then typically I like to make sure that I put my mesh covers up, mostly in the back. This way, when I get to my final destination, my windows in the back are prepped and ready to go. Now, occasionally I do put my mesh covers up in the front, but usually I don't really do that unless it's really warm in order to keep the mosquitoes out. So I might do that at night. To get some fresh air flowing in here, but it just depends. Lately, what I've been doing is I've been using my curtains instead. This way I can still have a little bit of privacy as well. So as I'm driving to my sleeping destination, I try to keep the heat on. I usually turn it up really high because I want to trap as much heat in here as I possibly can. This way I can keep it warm inside my car for at least a couple of hours. So once I get to my final destination, I immediately put up my sunshades. I find that my sunshades really help to really trap the heat inside of my car, and it also keeps the cold to a minimum. So everything from my sunshades to my body heat to my blankets to my pillows, all of these seem to be a contributing factor to keeping the heat trapped inside my car, at least for a couple hours. Now, another thing that I do, I actually got this idea from another YouTuber, is actually closing my vents, which is something you really wouldn't think of, especially if you live in your car. But as you have those vents open, you're actually allowing that extra cold air to come into your car. So I try to make sure that I also close my vents. This way I am able, again, to keep the extra heat trapped in my car. Now, as far as how I get prepared at night, layers, layers, layers. I can't say this enough. Layers are my best friend. I typically layer up 2 of everything from my shirts to my pants. Of course, right now it's a little bit warmer. I think right now it's about 45 degrees Fahrenheit outside. So right now I just have on a t-shirt and a pair of sweatpants and my thermals to go underneath. This is the weekend, so this is more of my chill gear. So typically when it gets a little colder, obviously I do try to layer down as much as I possibly can. So usually late at night, I tend to put on my sweatshirt. Also have a pullover hoodie as well. So these typically keep me really warm at night. This is my favorite sweatshirt. I actually got this sweatshirt in Italy a couple years ago. I went on a tour of Italy. So this is like my favorite pullover hoodie. But for now, I'm gonna take it off because I am burning up. I know this might sound strange, but I hate putting hats on my head. So that's why having an alternative such as my pullover hoodie is great, especially if I want to keep my head warm at night and also cover my neck as well. Now, as far as gloves, I don't wear gloves. When it comes to socks, I just have regular socks. I do tend to sweat a lot at night, so I try not to go overboard when it comes to layering because I don't want to get sick. So it all depends on the temperature, honestly. But at the end of the day, as long as you have a hoodie or some type of jacket to wear at night, some thermals, a scarf, some socks, basically having 2 of everything. Now, blankets are also my best friend. As a matter of fact, I do have a comforter, which is fairly thick. So that also keeps me really warm at night. I also invested in this wool blanket, so that also is amazing as far as keeping me warm. And I also sleep in this 0-degree mummy sleeping bag, which is amazing. I love it so much. It literally just snuggles you inside of it and squeezes you really tight to the point where you are warm. So my sleeping bag, along with my wool blanket and my comforter, for the most part, keep me warm at night to the point where I have no problems at all. Now, the only thing that sucks about this sleeping bag is once you're in this sleeping bag, it locks you up and sticks to you like glue. And so when it comes to moving around, it can be a little annoying. But for the most part, like I said, it definitely keeps me warm at night. So my next method is building a fort. You remember when you were a kid and used to build forts? Well, at least I did. I would literally take the chairs and throw a blanket on top. I would get underneath it and that would be my play zone. And no one else can enter this play zone. Well, I'm actually gonna show you how to build an actual adult fort that is gonna be great for trapping in heat, and it's definitely gonna keep you warm at night. So let's go. So So I know this looks silly, but this is one of the ways that I stay warm throughout the night. Sleeping under here definitely helps to trap in the heat. I also put my blanket on top of my chairs. This way I can get a little airflow. But this is, like I said, one of the ways I stay warm. So yes, that is my secret weapon. I actually got that idea from another YouTuber. She actually demonstrated it in her video, and I thought to myself, why not test the wheel and try it out for myself? And it definitely traps in the heat, and it definitely works. So if you are looking for that extra layer of protection, build an adult fort to keep you warm late at night. Now, of course, if I do get cold late at night, if I do need to grab like an extra sweater, I have a bag that I usually keep down here, so I can just swap that out or just get an extra layer of thermal pants or whatever else I need in this bag. I do keep extra jackets on my chairs. Also keep it here so that by the time I wake up in the morning, I could just go ahead and reach for my jacket, start my engine, and crank up the heat in my car and start my day, basically. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel as we drift into freedom together. See you soon. Now your dreams can't come true if you don't have the vision. Find out how I stay focused using a digital vision board.